So whenever you're ready.
We are Glass Half Metal. I'm the producer and designer of Monty.
I'm Dominic, I'm one of the programmers.
I'm Dan, I do art stuff.
Kyle, I do design and other stuff.
I'm Joe, I do design and other stuff.
And Micah, I do sound design.
I'm Greg, I do design and
Let's say other stuff.
And other stuff.
And Brian is one of our programmers. He's not here right now. So the other stuff is a lot of our team members can do things. They're really good at other areas that aren't just one thing, which is nice. But let's go into our game. So we wanted to do kind of like an Ocean's 11 meets Hitman meets stealthy stealing game that doesn't rely on killing, with a really kind of simple art, since we only have one or two artists. So should I show the video that it's kind of what our art style is as well as our do I close the play button?
You are...
Up.
Look at your screen.
There's nothing there.
Am I there?
Up.
Yeah,
Go.
almost.
Up. Up. A little up. More.
There you go. It's called teamwork, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the kind of art we wanted to go with. We really want to like emphasize the suits of cards and really flat colors and implications of faces and bodies without actually drawing them out. Part going on.
You can also think of like the opening from Mad Men. It's not a full-fledged, super detailed type model. It's more of a flat color implied.
Yeah, we want to give the sense of a person or a thing or an object while using colors to make it clear what is good, what is bad, what you are. These guys are really kind of what we're going for.
It's probably good to turn the audio down on the video. Keep going.
As this goes on,
Just hit space.
oh, it doesn't work. Oh,
What's that for?
it's so much fun to control.
Me do it. There you go.
I'll just go through. So, a lot of what we want to do is sort of have that complementary color scheme. And yeah, where red and blue are red and green, and orange and blue are constantly against each other. We really want this kind of shadowed, dark effect. And these are some of the ideas that we're going for. Like this is the main character, or one of the main characters. It's a 4-player multiplayer heist game. So you each take a suit of a deck. So spades, hearts, diamonds. And it's up to you to infiltrate and steal from a casino. This is a security code here. Yeah, Dan.
Okay. Everything was just, since I'm mainly the only artist, to go for a cool visual style with simple textures, so base colors, so a craps board would be, the base would be green, the actual table, and then around it would be brown. So it's still detailed, but not high poly. But the first thing that really brought us to this whole concept was the Casino Royale video, and everyone really liked the idea of the visual style.
So I'm going to pull up, try to pull up a level. That kind of goes with what we want to do. You can kind of see this world here. Greg, do you want to talk about it?
Sure. So this was just one of the initial ideas. This is kind of like a fully white level with only normal maps applied to everything. The idea is kind of like the lighting mode in UDK already. What you do is you use these highlighted things, like the tree is green only on the leaves, but everything else is white. Maybe the vines, maybe like parts of the buildings, but everything else is kind of this base white. It makes a lot of the things pop. Like all of our characters are usually very much black or colored in some way that they can be seen completely over this. The only issues that I really can tell right now with the idea is that it can be overbloomed. So that's something we have to look into.
We're kind of go from art now to gameplay. So our task was to, we had a lot of ideas because a thief, sneaky steal game has a lot of mechanics we want, a lot of cool stuff that we want to have. So one of our major issues was paring it down. And we kind of did that into ideas of teamwork and private zones and public zones and stealth. So I'm going to go through a couple of these levels and we're just going to go fast, show them.
So this particular instance was meant to demonstrate a couple of things. Differing zones the player can enter, such as a moderate zone I'll be entering, and then a restricted zone. It also kind of simulates an alarm system and then multiple paths. So I'm going to run through this. So just that I entered a moderate zone, and what we discussed as a moderate zone being is a zone you can walk into where there might be AI, but they don't instantly attack you. You're not facing any threat level or anything like that. So you can walk around and do what we would consider normal stuff that's not suspicious. And then we have our restricted zones, indicated by this red thing. That's bad, you're not allowed in here. So then bad people spawn, and Maji didn't make a team deathmatch. So they're not going to actually come and shoot me, but they're pretty stupid right now anyway. They don't do a whole lot.
But they would be chasing.
But they would be chasing you. It's just to indicate that something bad would happen if you entered that zone. So you can keep going back in here, but bad things will keep happening to you, assuming you don't die. So the way to get around that is to turn off the security system, which you do by shooting this little power switch. And then you can go walk around here and feel all awesome. So something in this area we might put is like some chips you wanted to steal, maybe like a safe, anything to reward the player for getting in there. And then the last thing was just there's another path to get in there. Take going around out here, jumping on these boxes.
This kind of illustrates the kind of design we want to make in our game, where we want to have the players have multiple approaches to, well, like you could run in and try and get the stuff, but it's not going to happen. Or you could have a player, one of your team members, turn off the alarm and go in.
Multiple options is kind of a big deal for our team in a level or scenario in our game.
We
We want
wanna-
to give the player a lot of variety and choice.
We want to approach it as like as simple as possible. Like, so we're not overwhelmed. You want to do this? Sure. Right.
So one of the things that we wanted to try and figure out is if co-op stealth would be fun, because our game is mostly based on stealth and moving around, whether it be in like plain sight or you're actually sneaking around the shadows. It'd be nice to have two people running around doing it. So right now it's just gonna be me, but this is an idea of quick stealth made in like prototype style stuff. So right now this would be your partner, but of course he doesn't do anything. And there's these guys running around. And if they get if you are seen, you see a little bit of text popping up, but it's just pretty much telling you you've been seen. So if they catch you for more than a few seconds, they're gonna run, hit the alarm, and you're gonna be in big trouble. For now, eventually we'd like to do it where they chase you or do something like that, but this is kind of just our prototype step. The co-op comes within because you can't go through these doors. You need people to help each other. You have to be able to move from one place to another with people. So each button has to be open so someone can get through. So it's this kind of cooperative, how do we get past these people?
Oh,
Of course I was caught, so I died.
Okay.
But that's about it for this level.
There's also the art.
Yeah.
Do you want the lines?
Oh, right. So, what I spent a lot of time working on is, if you look at right around here, there's these black outlines over everything. This is an edge detection shader, which we're probably going to be increasing to do other stuff as well. It it needs tweaking depending on what level you're in and stuff, but this particular one seems to be doing a pretty good job. Yeah. 2 runs even though dudes. Yeah.
Oh no, you lost.
So yeah, there's black outlines around everything, and it actually calculates where the edge is and stuff like that. So it gives it kind of a little bit of a cartoony effect, but it's really powerful and simple looking shader.
Let's see what's on that. This is a lot like Greg's sort of idea where you need 2 players to kind of get through this, and it's meant, we were playing with the idea of distracting and suspicion. So the goal is behind that door, but the only way to get that door open is if you walk into one of these spotlights, which would, it's a security door, which would let the security guards out. So if I walk into that, the spotlights stop and security would be coming out to get me. However, I need something in there. So if I try and approach it, I can't because I'll leave the spotlights and I won't be suspicious anymore. The theory would be that a team member would sit and wait for you to kind of jump into the light, get caught while they sneak in, which kind of builds up that kind of thief team mentality where I might have to take the fall while you guys go and do this, and we can come back around and get me. Okay. Feel it.
Mine's pretty bare bones. More about learning Kismet than anything because I really didn't have much experience with it. And so if you go to like say that thing was a button, if you walk up to it, and right now it's just you walk up to it and trigger the alarm. The guards come in, and then you turn the alarm off, and the guards go away. It's just pretty basic. I was just trying to learn Kismet. So.
It's good though.
Oh no, I'm just gonna kill you. You did. Just like in real life. So that's some of the design stuff we want to be shooting for with our game. We really want to focus on teamwork, and we really want to focus on ways that there can be multiple entrances to things, but keeping those multiple entrances as simple as possible. So split paths where one path might require a door opening, or something very small so it doesn't take a lot of time and it doesn't absorb us. Because one of the biggest fears in our one of the biggest possible setbacks is our scope getting too large. And so we were trying to cut that as much as possible when we look at how we want to design things. Dom, do you want to say anything about the tech perspective? I mean,
Sure. Brian, who's in the back there now.
Go ahead.
Hi, Brian.
Yay, Brian. So Brian and I were looking at like 2 different ways we were thinking about setting up UDK. He was looking at a different IDE than Visual Studio. I was working on Visual Studio and setting up Enfringe on that for the IntelliSense. And in the end, we're going with the Visual Studio stuff, and we put that on Perforce. We kind of just recently started looking into code, more specifically AI, because we're going to have to change certain things based on like, that way the guys don't just turn around and start shooting at you right away when it's more of like a stealth game, and they shouldn't be as perceptive as they normally are. Yeah, that's just where we're starting right now.
And we're also looking at getting a custom model in, which should happen soonish.
yeah, bringing up that model that we showed you guys.